Hey, what's up, everybody? One coach's opinion. And remember, it's my opinion, it's not a fact. So, a lot of people's asking me, like, oh, so what happened with the Shakur fight and stuff like that? I don't know. I really don't know the details. I can tell you stuff I've read, but what I can do is try to explain purse bids. So, purse bids normally take place when it's like a mega fight and promoters are begging. They're literally begging to be a part of the promotion somehow. And they also take place when it's a fight that you're trying to sell that, I mean, I won't say nobody wants, but nobody's really bidding on. So finally they'll have a purse bid. And you can have a purse bid where guys are putting in their highest bid, and you have a purse bid where guys are putting in their low bid. Like it might be like Showtime, and they might bid for it, or say any promotional company, they might bid for it, and they might say, you know what, I really kind of don't want this fight, but we'll play 1.2 million for it, or something like that. Now, with that budget, if you have it, now you have to convince the fighters to fight for that money. So say if it's a fighter where it's 1.2 and these fighters figure I should be getting at least $1 million to fight him. Now you have two fighters that want $2 million and you have a budget of 1.2. Therefore, it doesn't go through. So sometimes when you're thinking, well, oh, he signed the contract. I heard somebody say he signed the contract and now he doesn't want to fight. No, he signed a contract agreeing that he would fight him. And then y'all went to a purse bid and told him what he would get for fighting him. And the guy probably said, no, thank you. I don't want that type of money. Even though he agreed to fight him. I agreed to fight you still based on what I'm gonna get paid. So if the purse bid comes in too low, or the percentages still aren't right after the purse bid. So say you get a budget of $2 million and just say it's a Tank fight. And we're not quoting on how much the fights were. Just listen to the example. It's a Tank fight, but Tank says, I want 1.6 for my next fight. Now you have 400,000. Now you have to find an opponent that will fight him for 400,000. Plus you have the budget of the show. So really, if you're a promoter and say Showtime gives me a budget of $3 million for Joe Schmo to fight Mojo. Okay, now really, I like to really walk away with some of this money, and I like to do this budget. I'm just saying, speak from a promoter, and I like to do this budget. I like to pay some undercards because I'm a promoter. So some of the guys that I promote, I want to pay some undercards to get those guys going. And I have, so that's really what I'm looking for. But if I get a budget of $3 million and the main fighters take up 2.8, now I have a budget of 200,000 to pay for the other fighters and stuff like that. And that might not work out for you, or it might. It might work out and you just have to have a undercard that's really not that great. I mean, or like I said, you put two C fighters in the ring together, or two D+ fighters in the ring together, you'll have a good fight. So I mean, it still all depends on the promoter. But point being, just because somebody signs to fight somebody, once the fight goes to purse bid, if the money's not right, they still can say, oh nah, I didn't say I will fight him for whatever y'all decided to come up to give me. That's not how purse bids work. So you still have to make the fight worth it to both sides. They still got their percentages. They got usually, because if it's a fight like this, one dude might be a champion, one dude might not be a champion. Or the percentages, if the percentages are still low and you're like, well, I'm only gonna get 130,000 for fighting him. Man, I was offered like 250 to fight him. You know what I'm saying? So you might be like, I'm not taking that type of fight to fight him. I'm not taking that type of money. I'll have to build up and he'll have to build up or something like that to make that sale go through. See, the thing that's going on now is Saying, let's say Frank Martin and Shakur. People like, well, Frank Martin, now he don't want to fight. No, after the purse bid, the numbers didn't add up. So he probably said, I don't want to fight anymore. Here's the thing about Shakur Stevenson, and this is my opinion. He doesn't sell enough hate tickets. He is a great fighter, awesome skills, fun to watch, but he doesn't have enough haters to really be the draw that he wants to be. He's going to have to build up his hate fan base. I hate to say it, but like Tank has a hate fan base, and he has a love fan base. He has dudes that come there and want to see him lose, and he has people that come there and want to see him win. But guess what? The tickets cost the same. Shakur is a likable guy. Even when he spars, he might talk a little trash. He might, he really don't down people too much. Even say that Jamel Herring thing. Had he had just said, business is business, I disrespected you going into the fight, saying, tell everybody I was going to crush you. I crushed you, and now I'm not apologizing at all for what I did. I'm just going to my room. You go on with your life, I go on with mine. But instead, he kind of apologized to him. He apologized to his wife. He apologized. He went back on the good guy side. He needed to stay where he was, not to be funny. As a person, he did the right thing. But as a fighter, he needed to stay where he was. So a lot of guys would say, you know what, I don't even fuck with him, Shakur Stevenson, man. After what he did, man, look how he disrespected that man, blah, blah, blah. He needed people to hate him. Or you're just going to go with the fan base that like you're going to be that great of a fighter that people love you. I mean, Floyd is one of the greatest fighters that laced up, but he sold a lot of hate tickets. Anytime, and he's still selling hate tickets for his exhibition. People would love to see Floyd accidentally get knocked out. They hate him. And those hate tickets, plus your love tickets, add up. Shakur sells mainly love tickets. People love to see him fight. He doesn't really talk trash. He doesn't, he might say what he's going to do to you in the ring, but that's it. People want to hear a little more, like you don't want to be the Rolly that just talks like ignorant trash, but it got to be something about you that's selling hate tickets. Like Rolly probably sells no love tickets. He sells mostly hate tickets, man. I want to see this kid, blah, blah. He sells hate tickets to me. I mean, if I buy a ticket for a Rolly fight, it's because I hate Rolly. Not because I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to Rolly fights again. That's just how it is, you know what I'm saying? And nothing against Rolly. I don't have nothing against it. I'm just using examples. But those are the examples you need to know when it comes to how these fights are being made and purse bids and fighters signing and people saying, well, man, he signed the fight, now he don't want to fight. Yeah, circumstances change when the money changes. Now, on purse bids, when it's a mega fight, say you get Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fighting, now you're going to have promoters begging to promote it because they want some of that money. So now your purse bid is going to get higher. They're begging for it. But if there's some fight where, say it's some, like I said, just name two average guys that they're good and it might be a good fight. You got people that might be like, yeah, I'll give you $800,000 if you can get that off. You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, that type of budget. And that's where your trouble comes in when you get guys that should be fighting each other, but the money's not right. You got to sell more tickets. Like Shakur, once Shakur starts getting his hate tickets up, I mean, if you know Keyshawn he's right now, he's like the bad guy, and he's selling his love hate. He's going with it. And, even when he spars and he's around him, when he's around, he's a nasty little guy, you know what I'm saying? It's that if he keeps that attitude up with the skills he has, he's going to sell a lot of tickets. He might outsell Shakur because there's going to be a lot of people that's going to hate Keyshawn because they're going to just hate him because how he'll beat you and then talk bad about you and say, like, you shouldn't have gotten in the ring with me and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. He'll wear that black hat. And in this situation, you got to be able to wear that black hat. And I mean, Shakur is doing it on Twitter a little bit. He's going back and forth, people. It's still in like stay out of my business type way, and he's arguing with fighters and stuff like that. He has to do something in the public eye to make you hate him, so you'll buy those hate tickets. Then he'll be able to fight a dude like Frank Martin and give Frank Martin what he feels he's worth. Because most likely, Frank Martin didn't agree on the numbers. Shakur probably said, man, I'm going to crush him anyway. I'll take this much, but I'm only giving you this much or something like that. And it just didn't add up. I mean, for Shakur, it's added up because, I want this belt. I want to step up. I want to be able to put my name in 35. and that's his way of doing it. Frank Martin is it's a hell of a step up, and I think it's worth more than that. So that's, in my opinion, why Frank Martin decided he didn't want to take it. I'm sure it wasn't like after watching a bunch of Shakur tapes, I decided I didn't want to fight Shakur. It was probably basically, I didn't want to fight Shakur for what you're willing to pay me to fight Shakur. I'll just get my numbers up, he'll get his numbers up, and then when y'all ready to pay more, then we'll fight. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the last fight he had was, you know, people didn't really, so that was hard to sell too. So one coach's opinion, that's how purse bids work. You know what I'm saying? That's how the fight game's working. So maybe we'll get it. Maybe they'll figure it out and we'll be able to fight. One coach's opinion. I'm out.